Okay, so hello everyone, good evening. Welcome to another one of Cercle YouTube lives. Good evening to you all. Please let me know if you can hear me. So hello Virginie, Fakima, Felix, Marie, another Marie, Hervé, Chantal, Delphine. Awesome, great. I'm glad that you can hear me. So thank you for joining us. We'll wait 1 minute to see if some more people join us, and then we'll get started. So hi Paige, hi Sandy, hi Alam, and hi Laure as well. Thank you for joining us this evening. Hi Muriel as well. There's lots of you this evening. This is very good. Hi Thierry, hi Marie. I'm glad you can hear me. Good. Hi Elisa. Right, okay, so a brief introduction to our theme this evening. We're going to be talking about team building. So what makes a good team, how we can support and encourage positive team attitudes, and making sure that we are as cooperative and cohesive as possible. So this can apply both to a sports team, but it can also apply to a team in the workplace and even among friendship groups. So essentially, what makes sure that your relationships with other people, be they teammates, colleagues, or friends, are as positive and as productive and efficient as possible. Okay. Hello for the rest of you who are trickling in. Nice to see you again. So my question to you is, first of all, are you a team player? Are you a leader? Or are you a mixture of the two? So do you like to take charge? Do you like to be led by someone else? Or do you adapt to multiple situations and display qualities of both team leaders and team players? So what do we think? Are you a leader? Or are you a team player? Or are you a mixture of the two? Combination of both. Awesome. It's good to be a combination of both. Both. Everyone's both. This is good. So Virginie is more of a team player. Marie-Hélène is a mixture of the two. It depends on the situation. Yes, Alam is right. For me personally, I think it also depends on the situation. If I'm in a situation where I'm surrounded by people who are more experienced, or perhaps more educated on a topic than I am, I become more of a team player and I listen. Whereas if it's a topic or area that I'm more of an expert in, then I tend to lead. So like you, I also vary depending on the situation. No worries, Françoise. Thank you for joining us. We're just talking about whether you're a team player or whether you are a leader. Muriel is more of a leader. Okay. So my next question is, why do we want to have a good team? Why do we participate in team building? What is the purpose? What is the goal? Okay. Donc, qu'est-ce que c'est l'objectif de former une équipe qui est bon, une bonne équipe? So what is the goal? C'est quoi l'objectif? To build chemistry and work together. Yes, good. To get synergy. Yes. To know your colleagues better. Yes. To be productive. Yes. To have... okay. Donc, la traduction de résultat is results or outcome. Donc, résultat is results or outcome. You've self-corrected. Okay, that's fine. To feel wrong together. So Evelyn, I think you want to say to feel integrated, well integrated. Donc s'intégrer is to integrate. To win or to have a very good results. Yes. Yes, to be better. To be, Virginia, I think you mean to say to be the best. Okay? To be the best, to have good relations with colleagues. Yes, don't forget that colleagues is plural, to share tasks and support each other. Each other, yes. Okay, so, in terms of being a team player and operating within a team, what do you think constitutes a good team player? What constitutes a good team player? What makes someone a good team player? Donc, en quoi consiste-t-il une personne qui travaille bien dans une équipe? Donc, qu'est-ce qu'ils sont les qualités ou les caractéristiques qui sont importantes? What are the main important and key characteristics or personality traits of someone who is a good team player? Okay, we have adaptability, yes, so the ability to adapt to different situations, and a good work ethic. So yes, someone who has a positive attitude towards work. We can say someone who isn't afraid. Someone who isn't afraid to get their hands dirty. So this is an idiomatic phrase in English, which means that someone is happy to get involved and undertake difficult tasks, even if they are uncomfortable or difficult. So someone who has a good work ethic will be willing to help out the team, even if the job is not as pleasant or easy as you might like. To listen to each other, yes, Françoise, it's important to be a good listener. Marie has rightly said respect. Yes, it's really important to respect one another. To say your ideas and listen. You can learn from your colleagues. Yes, a good team must be different personalities. Yes, so a good team often involves lots of different types of people, and as some of you have also said, so Muriel has said a mixture of personalities. Don't forget in English, personality is with one N, as is the plural. It's not like personne, which has two N's in French. Donc, il faut juste un N, pas deux, comme en français. Okay, Huda, the translation is share. Share. Shears is a different verb. Shears is when you cut something, like the wool of a sheep. Okay? Right. Someone who likes a challenge, yes. Someone who is willing to push themselves. Okay. So what makes someone, conversely, a bad team player? So who are the kinds of people we don't want to work with? What kind of characteristics do they demonstrate that are considered undesirable or unhelpful in terms of a team environment? Okay. What sort of ideas? So, okay. Someone who works alone. Someone who works alone. So in some respects, people who work alone aren't necessarily bad team players. They are perhaps independent or autonomous, or they enjoy working by themselves. However, you are right. If someone is working in a team and refuses to work with others, then that can be challenging, and indeed it can impede the cooperation of the team. So Sandy, the word you're looking for is authoritarian. Or authoritarianism. I've misspelt that, sorry. Authoritarian. Okay, and Evelyn has said people who are not fair and don't want to listen to others. Yes, those who refuse to listen. Those who refuse to listen. Mary Helena said someone who is disrespectful. Yes, disrespectful. Just on spelling there, it's one L. So most adjectives that end in full, unlike the word by itself, donc si on utilise le mot rempli, la traduction de rempli or plein is usually full, okay? That is spelt F-U-L-L, so F-U-L-L. But when we have adjectives ending in full, like beautiful, disrespectful, respectful, and other ones that I can't think of off the top of my head, cheerful, for example, they all end in F-U-L, one L, okay? So Zabe has said character assassination, speaking rudely to individuals rather than conveying thoughts professionally and constructively. Thank you. Grateful as well also works. So yes, character assassination. So this is where you criticize a person's character rather than their ability to do a job. So perhaps you are rude, impolite, or sometimes even cruel to someone because perhaps you don't like their character rather than necessarily their ability to work. So you might not get on with someone in a friendly environment, but they might also be very good at their job. And so in these situations, it's better to, as Zabe says, convey your thoughts professionally and constructively so that the other person does not feel as though their character is being attacked. Okay? So Marie-Hélène said selfish. Yes, selfish is also a very good word. So someone who is selfish or égoïste is someone who thinks about themselves. So someone who refuses to think of others, someone who puts themselves or puts their own priorities above the needs or the priorities of others. So in a team that doesn't really work, because if the team has a goal as a collective, it's difficult if each individual is working towards their own goal and isn't putting their whole energy into the collective good. So Victorine has said inadaptation. So someone who is not flexible, doesn't adapt, doesn't display adaptability. We can also say stubborn. Okay. So Hakima has said, someone who doesn't accept criticism or remarks from others. Yes, if you believe yourself to be 100% perfect all the time, then it is very rare that you'll be able to improve, because if you already think you're perfect, you're not going to listen to others telling you about things to improve on. It's good to be self-confident and to know your self-worth and to know that you are more than enough, but there's always things you can do to improve, to adapt, and to address situations differently. So yes, being or refusing to accept constructive criticism from others is perhaps not the best way to be part of a team. Okay, so we'll move on slightly. We're going to use some vocabulary now to talk about teams and things that work well in teams and perhaps things that don't work so well in teams. So the first piece of vocabulary we have is to gel, to gel. Okay, so this comes from sort of the idea of, for example, people who use gel in their hair. It's quite sticky. So if people use gel in their hair, it's very sticky. And so the metaphor is that if a team gels well, or if people gel well with each other, it means they get on, it means that they work well together, and it means that they cooperate, so they stick together, they work well together. Okay, so these people gel. People have a good relationship with each other and work well together. Donc, on peut dire que la traduction of to gel, ça dépend, mais en gros, ça veut dire que bon, les gens travaillent bien ensemble, ils s'entendent bien avec l'un à l'autre, l'un avec l'autre, et oui, c'est comme ça, s'entendre bien et travailler bien ensemble. Okay, so our second piece of vocabulary, well, we're going to use a few more things now, but when we're communicating, because communication is so important in a team environment, one of the phrases we can use is to touch base with someone. Okay? So if you touch base with someone, this means you get in contact or meet up with that person, generally to discuss things like progress or to update yourself on a piece of information. So to touch base with someone is a form of communication, usually repetitive or continuous communication. That means you are always up to date with what someone is doing. And this is a good way of maintaining a relationship with a team or with a person in particular, because you show that you are constantly interested in the work that other people are doing, okay? So touching base with someone is a good aspect of team play. Another way, almost a synonym, so to touch base with someone is more of a work environment, but you can also say to catch up with someone. And this can be in a work environment, but can more often be used in a friendly environment. So if you catch up with a friend or a colleague, it means you tell them what you've been doing recently. So you quite literally catch them up with what you've been doing. You bring them up to speed. You bring them up to speed, you catch up with someone. You let them know what you have been doing recently. Okay, so Zabe has said connecting for information, which fits very nicely into our next piece of vocabulary, which is to bounce ideas off someone. So this is when you share ideas with someone and you make sure that you come up with new ideas, that you listen to what someone else might think about a project, and you can tell them what you think. It's a way of sharing ideas and coming up with new ideas as a team. So for example, I might say, I have a new idea for an English lesson. Can we bounce ideas with each other? Can I bounce ideas off my boss to see if it's a good plan or not, to see if it's a good lesson or not? Perhaps in this chat we can bounce ideas off of each other to see what constitutes a good or bad team player. So we are talking about opinions and ideas with someone else in the hope of coming to a better conclusion. Okay? And our last piece of key vocabulary for today, which is more of a negative statement, is to step on someone's toes. So this is an idiomatic expression, which the French version, I believe, is marcher sur les plates-bandes, donc to walk on or to step on someone's toes. This constitutes invading someone's domain, essentially. So if I step on someone's toes, it means that I've done something that perhaps encroaches on another person's job, another person's role, another person's ability. So, for example, let's say you're giving a presentation and you are leading a certain part of the presentation, but someone who is less qualified or less well versed in the topic you're talking about decides to interrupt and talk over you, almost interrupting your presentation. This person could be described as having stepped on your toes, okay? Or perhaps a colleague who is difficult, who often perhaps goes out of their way to encroach on other people's jobs, can also be described as someone who steps on someone's toes, steps on their toes, okay? So I step on your toes, or I might step on your toes if I interrupt you, if I undermine you, if I encroach on your job or your role without you asking for me to. So it's quite a negative statement to say someone is stepping on someone else's toes. Okay, so using the vocabulary we have just learnt, I would like you to come up with some sentences of your own about a team or a work environment, okay? So we have to gel, to touch base with, to catch up with, to bounce ideas off, and to step on someone's toes. So can you use one or more of these phrases to create some interesting sentences, and we can discuss whether you've used them correctly or the best situation to use them. Don't forget as well, you can also use the phrase to be a team player, so someone who works well in a team. Okay? So what ideas do we have? So Sandy doesn't understand gel. Okay, so gel, I'll re-explain, is when you work well with someone else and you have a good relationship. So you can say, I gel well with people who work in a team. The team gelled with each other. The team members all gelled well with the new member. Okay, so it essentially means you get on, you have a close relationship. Have you gelled well with your boss? Have you gelled well with your new colleagues? What does it take to gel with a new colleague, a friend, or a team member? Okay, so Marie-Hélène has said, I don't like it when you step on my toes. I don't like it when you step on my toes, okay? And so Maria said, I will catch up with my team member about the escape game, okay? I'm not sure what you mean by escape game, but you've used catch up with correctly. I will catch up with my team member about the game. Françoise has said, I gel well with all my colleagues. Yes, that's good. So you gel well with all your colleagues. Luckily for me, the lovely team at Cercle des Langues, our teachers and our office team, are all very lovely. So I also have gelled well with all of my colleagues. I gel well with all my colleagues. Okay, Marie-Hélène has said, I have a new project. I would like to bounce ideas with you. Yes, I would like to bounce ideas off you, okay? So the preposition you're looking for is off. You can say exchange ideas with someone, but bounce ideas off someone is the better phrase. So it's because imagine you're throwing a ball and the ball bounces off a wall, a person, an object. So you're essentially throwing the idea at someone and it bounces off them. So you bounce ideas off someone. Okay? Sandy has said, stop stepping on my toes, please. Yes, if you wanted to be very direct, you could ask someone to stop stepping on your toes. Zabe has said, I will catch up with my friends tomorrow. Yes, so I will catch up with, so I will bring my friends up to speed. I will tell them about my recent activities tomorrow. Evelyn has said, in business meeting or work meeting, okay, business meetings, plural, work meetings, plural, people might bounce ideas off each other. So in business or work meetings, people might bounce ideas off each other. So Marie has said, I'm touching base with you. Yes, I'm touching base with you. So you might say, oh, I'm just touching base with you because I want to know how you're getting on with the project we've been working on. Okay? I'm touching base with you. Yes. Muriel has asked, I don't quite understand your question. Can you either rephrase the question ou sinon, est-ce que vous pouvez me demander en français pour que je puisse vous aider? Marie-Hélène has said, the manager touches base with the staff. Yes, so the manager touches base with their staff in order to maintain a good, positive relationship and a good, positive work environment. He has established a good work ethic and a nice team environment. The manager touches base with the staff. Yeah. Que veut dire? Okay. So if you want to ask, we say, what does X mean? Okay, so what does bounce mean? What does to gel mean? What does this mean? Okay, so this is a way of asking in English the meaning of a word. Huda has already responded, so rebondir. But yes, it's essentially when an object hits another object and comes up again or comes off it. It bounces off, it's deflected. Okay, so we might describe a ball as bouncy. The ball hit the wall and then bounced off. Donc, le ballon a rebondi. Yes. But in the sense of to bounce off or to bounce ideas off, this is a figurative or metaphorical phrase. So you don't physically throw your ideas at a person, but metaphorically speaking, you're throwing your ideas at someone and then you bounce ideas off each other. Essentially what this metaphor means is you communicate an idea and then you receive an opinion back. So the idea goes to someone else and then bounces off them. So Victorine has said he has been struggling to catch up now. Not quite, although this makes sense. This is more of in this sense, it's more of the verb rattraper. So to catch up in this sense that you've used is rattraper, which is very good. But in this sense, we're talking more about catching up with someone rather than catching up on something. So catch up with someone, catch up on something. Catch up on. So you can catch up on work, but you can only catch up with your mother, father, family, or work colleagues. Okay? My manager doesn't communicate. It seems on the future of us. Okay. So Paige has said her manager doesn't communicate at all with his teams on the future of the business or service. Yes. Okay. That's good. in terms of vocabulary, not good in terms of what the sentence means. Okay, so I think that brings us to a close for today. So don't forget to rewatch the video if you want to revise some of the vocabulary and get some more explanations and re-listen to everything we've talked about today. Be sure to check out our other videos on this account, which you can subscribe to if you're interested in following our videos. Be sure to watch out for our next series. So we'll be here the same time next week. And as always, thank you for joining. And this has been a sector-long video, so if you are interested in learning English or relearning English, then contact our team and we'll be happy to help you out. In any case, should you have any questions, as always, don't hesitate to contact us. And a member of our team will be very happy to respond to your questions about any of our courses or perhaps an English question concerning grammar or vocabulary. So I wish you all a very nice evening, a very lovely rest of the week, and I will see you next Tuesday. Donc merci, bonne soirée et à la semaine prochaine. Au revoir, bonne nuit. Bye.